The human world is a mess. Just kidding, it's not so bad sometimes. So my darling friends on Tumblr requested that I do Ariel and Ursula as a look at some point. So for my last double feature before Halloween, I'm going to be doing looks inspired by Ariel and Ursula. So please keep in mind that I'm doing inspired. I'm not exactly mimicking their cartoon looks. I'm kind of just sort of pulling inspiration. So for Ariel, we're going to do her first. I have already put primer on my face, put on my Makeup Forever Hydrating Primer, and let it soak in for a while. And now I'm actually going to be using my MAC Studio Fix. And I'm using the sponge that comes with it and just rubbing that all over my face. All of my favorite, British YouTubers always use MAC Studio Fix, so I always, say it with a weird accent, I don't know. So for my eyebrows, I'm filling them in with my Essence Essence eyebrow pencil in blonde. And then because I do want them to be red, but I don't like that, really red, cartoony eyebrow look, I just think it looks really weird. I'm just kind of, setting that eyebrow pencil with a red eyeshadow. This is the Sephora Collection eyeshadow in Cherry on top. So I'm just kind of running it through my eyebrows a little bit so they get that kind of reddish tint, you know? Now, I decided to switch out my eye primer for this half of the video, so instead I'm taking the Too Faced Shadow Insurance, and I'm just rubbing that all over my lid, because it just, squishes out, right? So I'm just rubbing that in, and then because I do find this primer, it grabs eyeshadow a little bit better than my e.l.f. one does, I'm taking Walk of Shame from the first Naked Basics palette, and I'm putting that all over my eyelid, right from my lash line to my brow, before we move into some fun, crazy colors. So this is a Wet n Wild palette. This is in Poster Child. I'm taking that color I showed you right there. It's kind of like a tealy kind of bluish. And I'm going to be patting that in onto my entire mobile lid. Later, I completely go in and change this because I didn't really like that color. But anyway, so now I'm taking this other blue shade from that palette, and we are just running this into my crease with a little blendy brush here. Really, really bluing up that crease. And I'm taking this really, really dark blue, and I'm taking this in the outer V, kind of, trying to deepen that very outer corner. And then in my Urban Decay shadow box, I decided to take this greeny shade called Indo, and I'm going to be patting this all over where I put that first color, because I didn't really like that first color. I like this one much better. Honestly, this Urban Decay palette, the shadow box one, so underrated. No one ever talks about it. There was no, big release for it, and I think it's, my favorite one. It's just such a good palette. Now, going back into that same palette, I'm taking the shade Moonstone, and I'm just putting that in that outer V as well, just to darken that up, and then taking a clean blendy brush and blending all those colors together, and then I just took a big fan brush to kind of wipe away some of the fallout that was all under my eyes, and now with my handy black Essence liquid eyeliner, I'm giving myself a little bit of a cat eye. Because you know me, I love my cat eye. You obviously don't have to. Realistically, if I was doing a Ariel cosplay, I would go more with her look from the movie, which is much more natural than this. But I don't know, inspired by looks are fun too, so that's what we're doing today. Now I'm taking the Maybelline Better Skin Concealer, my best friend. We're going all under my eyes with that just to brighten up this whole area, kind of counteract some of my natural blue that I've now enhanced by putting blue on my eyelids. And I'm going to blend that all in with my Beauty Blender, and then I'm going to set it with my yellow Sephora Bright Set powder, like I usually do. Curled down eyelashes, and then put a nice healthy coat of mascara. I use Benefit's Roller Lash on my top lashes. Usually I do my top and my bottom here, but I actually didn't put any mascara on my bottom lashes at all this whole time. So I'm taking my Duo Glue and my Sephora Regal eyelashes, like I always use. I always use these eyelashes for some reason. But I've had them for a while now, and I use them a lot, and they're still completely fine. They don't look wrecked at all, and so, I don't know, I love them. Now I'm taking my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eyeliner, and I'm just taking it, this is in the shade Asphyxia, I should have said that, taking that on my lower waterline, and then I'm going to be going back into the Shadow Box palette and taking the Indo shade that's on our eyelids, and just kind of putting that on our lower lash line, smudging out that purple a little bit, just so it's a little more balanced. Now this Chocolate Soleil bronzer came in my Too Faced Most Loved palette, and package thing, and honestly the Chocolate Soleil is a little bit too dark for me because I'm so pale. Really, if I were to buy it, I should buy the Milk Chocolate Soleil. You'll see by the end of this, it looks really, really muddy on me on camera. In real life, and in some of the close-up shots at the end, you'll see it did not look that muddy on me, but on camera, it looks really, really muddy. But I just take that as a bronzer, and I use that in that big 3 shape, so forehead, cheeks, jawline. And I'm taking the Physicians Formula, like, Mineral Glow Pearl. See, look at that. Nice, shiny cheeks. I'm taking that all up over my cheeks so I get really nice, shiny, healthy-looking cheeks. And then, very last, lips. I'm using my Sephora Cream Lip Stain in Marvelous Mauve, and that is it for my makeup. So now I'm putting on a wig cap, because of course I have Ariel's wig. But this wig is actually a brand new one that I just bought. I wanted to wear it for Fan Expo, but it just didn't come in time, but I still have it and I still like it. It's my very first time with a lace front wig. So what you do with a lace front wig is basically I'm taking double stick tape here. This is fashion tape. Someone suggested to me on my wheelchair fashion video that I buy it, and I bought it, so thank you so much. I love it. And so basically what I'm doing is I'm taping down the perimeter of, like, on my skin around my hairline so that the wig will stick to it when I put it on. And now we're just going to put the wig on. See how it's got all that lace in the front? Bam! That's why it's called a lace front. Oh boy. So that's what it looks like there. And so very carefully, please do this very, very carefully. If you're ever using a lace front wig, honestly, it scared the crap out of me doing this. You have to cut some of that excess lace off. You're supposed to leave a little bit on the, like, outer edge of the wig. Like, don't cut it right up. Leave a little bit. So I leave, like, 2 centimeters ish. A lot of people do cut it right up close, but because this is my first time using a lace front, I wanted to be as cautious as possible. So see, you can see it there, but obviously also Ariel's bangs cover, like, her whole face, so it doesn't really matter if I have a little bit of lace left there. So really it just took some fiddling with the hair here, some, like, playing with it. If I were to cosplay her, like, this day, I would have done a lot of teasing, a lot of hairspraying to get the bangs the way I wanted it, but I was just trying to find a more convenient way of doing the bangs. And what I basically ended up doing there was just twisting the hair, pushing it forward to create a little bit of a bump, and then here I'm just bobby pinning it in place with one bobby pin, and then I take a really big bobby pin and I, like, stick it up underneath the wig to, like, fasten that section of hair to my actual head, basically. And that's it. That is the finished look for Ariel, hair included. I will link to the shop that I bought the wig from on eBay down below so that if you want to check it out, you can get it, because I really actually like it. It's, you know, a really nice wig, and so that's the kind of blue makeup look I went for Ariel. So now let's start Ursula. So first I'm starting off with my Maybelline Master Prime primer in Blur and Illuminate because it has that kind of purple shine to it. I didn't want to paint my skin purple for Ursula. A lot of people do, and if you want to, that's totally up to you, but I wanted to keep my skin my natural tone, so I'm using, of course, my Maybelline Better Skin foundation. Now I'm going to be filling in my eyebrows with my Essence eyebrow pencil in black, just the basic black one, and just a little bit, because Ursula's got, like, really thin eyebrows, really, and I'm just not about that, you know? I really wish, like, I could have tried and, like, blocked out my eyebrows. I'd done it in a few test runs, but honestly, I'd figured that leaving my eyebrows the right shape was the best. And so just there, what I did was in the Shadow Box palette, I took the blackout shade and just kind of tapped that over my eyebrows just to darken them up a little bit as well. Then I used my e.l.f. eye primer, and I just put that all over my eyelids and blended it out with my fingers. And now I'm using that Revlon Photo Ready palette that I bought in the Elsa video, and this is in 503 Muse. And basically what we're doing is we're working from top to bottom of the palette. So I took the light purple shade that's at the very top and put that basically from my crease to my brow bone, and I blended it out. And then I took the, like, middle shade there, and I took that all in my crease, and I decided that my eyebrow area there wasn't dark enough, so I took that blue shade that I just showed you right there in that area, and I'm blending it out, and I really like how that darkened it up, because Ursula's got, like, blue eyeshadow from her lash line to her eyebrow, and even though I didn't really want to do that, I had also just done that in Ariel, but I just didn't want to do that, but I did want it to be dark, and so this gave me the look that I wanted. And then I finally took that purple shade that is just the eyelid color, and I put that all over my eyelids, really patted that down. Now I'm using my Bobbi Brown Corrector Concealer. Spoiler alert, I don't love this. I was at a Sephora that wasn't my Sephora once, and they talked me into buying it, and I don't love it. I don't love it. A lot of people do, but I just don't. And I'm going to set that with that Sephora yellow powder that I always use. And now with my Rimmel Scandal Eyes eyeliner, I'm going to be lining the top lash line and the top waterline, and then I do the bottom lash line and the bottom waterline as well, and I just smudge it out a little bit with that purple eyeshadow that we have all over the lid, just a little bit though. Now I'm going to be curling my eyelashes and applying a healthy coat of mascara. I use the CoverGirl Full Lash Bloom this time. I don't know why, I just grab a mascara sometimes. And now I'm going to be applying those infamous Ardell Double Up falsies. These falsies are so hard to put on. It's just because the band is so thick, so they like really don't always want to curve in and stick properly on the inner corners, but I try. I try really hard. In this institution. So in my e.l.f. contour kit, I'm taking the contour shade just down my cheeks and my nose, and then in this ultimate matte blush palette that I bought from Forever 21, taking that purple shade that's in the bottom corner that I just showed you on my cheeks, kind of rubbing it back and forth. Now I'm taking this little sample size of the Benefit High Beam that I have. I got it in one of their like little kits, and just putting that on my cheekbones and blending that in with the e.l.f. small stipple brush. You gotta kind of work really fast with e.l.f. High Beam because it likes to set really, really quickly, so just be wary of that. I do a couple of little strokes on my cheekbone and then rub it in like really fast. And then I took a little bit of it on my brow bone with my finger you saw there, and I'm just setting my T-zone with my Too Faced Primed and Poreless powder. Okay, now last step, lips. Now Ursula has bright red lips, and you can go with that if you wanted to, but I wanted to keep it this kind of purple theme, so I took my Sephora cream lip stain in polished purple all over my lips, and then over top of it I put this Marc Jacob lipstick that I have. It's the one that you get for free when you upgrade to VIB Rouge at Sephora. I didn't buy it, so just know it's that one. And so I don't have an Ursula wig, but I do have this wig that I bought that will someday be my Fiona Good wig. I just haven't styled it yet, and I didn't really want to style it for Ursula when it's not supposed to be a wig for her. So that's what the look turned out with, you know, at the end. But you know me, I like to go a little bit too crazy. So we're using this image from eyeshadowlipstick.com as a reference. I decided to draw a big tentacle on my face. You don't have to do that. You could just do the makeup if you have the costume. If I had the full costume, I would have just done the makeup. But, you know, here we are. So I used the brown eyeliner to outline the shape on my face using that picture that I just showed you as a guide, and using a Q-tip to clean up any edges as possible. Any edges as needed, rather. And now with this, like, face paint palette that I got at Walmart, I'm just filling it in using the purple shade. Realistically, these paints are not the best. They're very streaky. They're very hard to put on. They're very, like, if I touched my face at all after I was done, they were gonna smudge. I would have rather used, like, aqua paints or, like, basically anything more professional than this $2 face paint kit from Walmart. But, you know, you gotta do what you gotta work with what you have and the resources you have. So with this little sponge applicator that came with it, I just dipped it in the white color, and then I just put it on a spot and kind of twist it around, and that's how I create little suction cups on the end, on the bottom of this tentacle, and they actually turned out looking much nicer than I thought they would. Like, they almost look realistic in some lights because there's, like, chunks of the face paint in, like, the right spots that just make it look kind of highlighted. I don't know, it was like a happy accident, but I actually don't think it turned out looking that bad, considering I'm using crappy products. Just imagine what I could do if I had nice stuff. And now I'm taking just like this clean angled brush, and I'm drawing lines between the suction cups just to add a little bit more like depth and a little bit more detail. Originally I was going to take the tentacle look like down my neck, but because these paints are so crappy, I was having a really hard time like getting them to not just rub off on my neck because my neck is so short. So I just ended up not continuing with that. So if you're looking at the bottom there, like, what was she doing? You could totally do that, especially if you have a longer neck than I do, but I couldn't get it to work. So now I'm just taking the black and filling in what would be the black part of Ursula's tentacle, and I wasn't really happy with the black. It was so light and so terrible. So I went back into that Urban Decay Shadow Box palette and took the blackout shade and just pushed that over top, and that like really, really darkened it up, and it looked much, much nicer that way. So much better. So that is the finished Ursula makeup look with the tentacle. I was surprised by how the tentacle turned out. But of course you don't have to do the tentacle if you don't want to, and if I had the whole Ursula outfit, I would not be putting a tentacle on my face because you got 8 other ones. So whether you choose to be the Sea Witch or the Little Mermaid herself, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to request any future videos. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!